We are back to Two Brothers Podcast. It's your boy Malik. It's your boy over there, Vincent.
What it do?
And I mean, we can just get straight into it. So, a lot of that one sucked. Okay, not a lot of news happened, but there's been some news. So, to start off with the news, I think it's Makur Maker, Thon Maker's brother, is what you informed me with, right? Anyway, this kid who's a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, and he decided to take his talent to Howard University, which is a predominant HBCU and historical HBCU, instead of the likes of Brentwood, California at UCLA. What are your thoughts?
I like it. You know, remember we were talking about earlier how you're going to see a change of some sorts to players actually going to these big Power 5 schools, but instead they're going to, HBCU schools. You know, they're making their talent. They're playing for a school that actually appreciates their talent. And I'm not saying UCLA was on that same path as some of the other Power 5 schools that we mentioned in earlier episodes, but it's still a big change from going from Power 5 to HBCU. The level of competition is going to be the biggest issue of this debate. I see it as. But I like it. I like the change. It's a new stepping stones. It's a new future.
He was the first one to actually do it, and then it's been a few other top prospects. I know Mikey Williams, like we talked about before. I mean, he's still in high school and he still has a few more years of high school left. But he said that he was going to do it. So I like the fact that they're talking about it, and they're not just talking about it, but they're actually doing it. So hopefully we'll be able to get more television coverage for these HBCUs and in their gyms, so we can actually see them play, and so scouts can see them play and see how good these actual recruits are. But I mean,
you imagine if he blows up though at Howard, like he becomes. I'm gonna say that's kind of a stretch of saying he's gonna be the number 1 draft pick next year, but can you imagine if he like top five out of Howard?
That would be, well, I don't know. Just my whole thing is, in order for him to be top 5, he has to make the tournament. You got to make the NCAA tournament, because my whole issue is just my personal opinion when it comes to college basketball. Same thing with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was playing at LSU. LSU was nowhere near making the tournament. I think they barely made the NIT tournament because they lost way too many games. Right. But then they had him projected as like top 3 in the draft. And I just, like, to me, it just didn't correlate, because we've seen talent to where you're the only real NBA prospect on your team, and you still carry your team to the tournament. Such as Colin Sexton was the only real prospect. I mean, of course, he has Avery Johnson as his head coach in Alabama, but you were the only real NBA prospect, and you took your team to the tournament. Now, you didn't make it far in the tournament, but you at least got the in. Like, that makes a huge difference for me.
It's like that Chris Brown meme. You can't hate from outside the club. You got to make it.
you got to party. Everybody has to party, and
it reminds me of when I forgot his name now. Michael. Shit, damn. The small forward for you came out of LSU before Ben Simmons.
Oh, no, he's afterwards. Michael Carter, no.
Not Mike Carter Williams.
Not Michael Carter Williams.
His last name is he's a junior. You know what I'm talking about. He's in Denver right now. But he had the same. He went through the same thing that you're talking about right now. But instead, like you said, his team actually made it to the playoffs, but without his contribution at the end of all of it. So he was also considered the best player when the season first started. So what I'm trying to say is, like, do you think does it still matter at that point? Because, knock on wood, Thon Maker can still get hurt, and then he'll be not out of luck, because I'm pretty sure with his talent and the fact that his older brother is in the NBA with Milwaukee Bucks right now, he still will have enough. His name still will be talked about between scouts to actually get him onto a team if he doesn't actually play.
I'm trying to find it real quick. It's on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me later. But I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Michael
yeah,
Pittman. Nothing to do with him.
Michael something Jr. He's like a stretch 3-4. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I can see his face right now.
Light skin.
Yeah, but anyway.
Comment section about to blow up. They already saying the name and stuff.
If the comment section doesn't blow up, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna call me. But to other news, so the NBA players are finally in Orlando. They're prepping because they play in a couple more weeks,
June 26th.
at the end of this month. And I don't know about baseball, just like slight little detour. I'm gonna get back on basketball, but slight little detour. Baseball's still supposed to be opening on the 23rd, but I hear that other facilities are being shut down because people are still testing positive for the virus, such as like I know my Washington Nationals shut down the facility because 10 people, not just 10 players, but 10 people in general got the virus. So I don't know if baseball is still supposed to be on track, but they say it is. But anyway, for basketball, they got there yesterday and they're prepping. I saw a couple pictures of what the NBA floors are supposed to look like inside the hotel. I thought they were going to play in an actual arena. They're playing in like a big version of like a 24-hour fitness like with real NBA floors. And then the only thing that I don't like so far is some players are changing their last names on the back to like supposed to be things that are raising awareness. So I know CJ McCollum is changing the last name on the back of his jersey to education reform. And then others is changing it to like equality and stuff like that. I understand, like I get the concept, but then it looks kind of corny because everybody's just gonna have random
names
like quotes and sayings on the back of their jerseys. I don't know. I feel like we could do, not really we, but I feel like they could do a lot more than just changing the name on the back of their jersey. If you really want to make a difference, and it's gonna sound crazy, but like donate some of the money that you'll be making during this whole situation to certain charities or to lower income places. And I'm not saying that they aren't, but just the whole name on the back just looks kind of crazy. And I'm not the only person that said that. Like that made headlines on Twitter. People are like, I don't really see the point in changing your last name, but I don't know.
I just like the fact that they're not making they're not making what's going on. You know, the NBA bubble, the main topic. They're actually still going back and seeing about social justice and change. I applaud that. But if it's more or less like they should just come up with, not just come up, but stick with one thing. Like if one person is going to have, say, let's say, fun educational systems, then they should have multiple people saying that, not just one person, or like maybe a whole team should get like that. You get what I'm saying? Like yeah. Don't just have just one person. They'll show your solidarity and team emphasis, so to speak. But you know, so that type of camaraderie.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with a whole team because it's what we got 22 teams. Yeah, there it goes. I knew you would remember. Help me out. We got 22 teams. So it means we can all change the last name on the back of some jerseys for each team into something else. So the Pacers would be education reform.
Right.
The Lakers would be equality. And then the Clippers would be ice reform. You get what I'm saying? Like something different per team, because then it kind of singles out certain players as well. And even if some players want to be singled out, cool. Let us know that you don't really care for what's going on. That way we know not to support you. But it just looks crazy when I see CJ McCollum going down on fast break and it says education reform, and then he passes it to Lillard and it says Lillard. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a little quirk. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I don't really have OCD, but that's OCD like for me. I need unity in it. I don't know.
This just shows a lot about yourself right now.
I just want some unity. I want everything to be good. But don't get me wrong, Adam Silver is probably the best commissioner besides David Stern, because David Stern has really turned the NBA around. But Adam Silver has been the best commissioner we've seen in a long, long time. He's been on top of everything, and he's been ahead of the curve, especially for professional sports, when it comes to identifying injustices and identifying crises and speaking up and allowing the athletes to speak up, speak out, and make changes and to say and to do certain things that require attention.
See, I'm gonna let you rock just because you said, you threw David Stern in being like a good what do you call it? Good commissioner, yeah. I'm still not gonna forgive him for shutting down that Chris Paul trade to Lakers. I'm not forgiving him.
No, I'm not gonna forgive him.
He took off of our banners, man.
But I'm saying, as a whole, without David Stern being the NBA commissioner, we wouldn't have so many. Prime example: without David Stern, we don't have instead of a rookies and sophomores, we don't have a USA versus World team in the All Stars, because he was the main one pushing for teams to go outside of their comfort zone of the United States and to recruit players from all across the world. And he was the one that raised the NBA to all these other countries. The NBA was in a small market in other countries, and it became probably one of the biggest markets besides soccer in all these other countries after David Stern. So I have to give him applause for that. And,
all right. I see where you're saying. I was just thinking of like all the international players that kind of blew up from this. Like thanks to David Stern, we have Luka Doncic, we have Kristaps Porzingis. I even throw Rai Hachimura into it. Even with the forward for the Washington Wizards. So I guess it was a nice progression that he took. I'll take that.
Yeah, and then just a small little tidbit. Gordon, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, I don't know how many people. I don't know all of our viewers. I don't know what they all.
I feel bad for them, man. I feel bad for them for being Boston Celtics fans.
But Gordon Hayward is not playing due to his. He's not in the bubble right now due to his wife being pregnant with their fourth child. And if my memory serves me correctly, he's got 3 girls, or 2 girls and 1 boy. I know his oldest 2 are girls. So this might be girl number 3 or girl number 4 on the way. Who knows? Or son number 1 or 2, something like that.
Well, congratulations.
But he is expecting a 4th child during this whole bubble thing. So he won't be playing and he won't be there. Same thing with Victor Oladipo's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Kyrie's not there. Dwight Howard backed out, said he's going to be there. So now he's going to play. So we'll see. We'll see who's all there, who's not going to be there.
Out of all those players that you just mentioned just now, which one do you think is making the biggest impact upon their team into like not necessarily making a deep run? Like I never figured the Pacers probably I think the Pacers have the best chance. Well, since their star is missing, then they're kind of really going to be. I want to say like the first team's out because they're going to have where they're proceeded right now. They're not going to make it past the first round, especially now without Victor Oladipo. It's kind of
yeah, Victor. For all the people who aren't playing, such as like, okay, Avery Bradley's not playing as well. For all the people who aren't playing, I agree with you because Victor Oladipo would have the biggest impact, only because Kyrie is the biggest name and the best player out of all of them, but he wasn't going to play anyway because he's still recovering from an injury. Mm-hmm. So when we take that into consideration, Victor Oladipo is still the best player that's not playing. Because Gordon Hayward, with all intents and purposes, hasn't been the same since he left the West Coast.
Yeah, that's why I'm still thinking like, is Gordon Hayward really been left Boston Celtics high and dry? If it was, I'll say if it wasn't for Brad Stevens, he probably would have been gone by now. Because this would have been the second time that in the playoffs, key situations the reason why we got you here from Utah was to play in these situations, and he is not going to be there. That's twice now. I bet if this happens again, I promise you, he won't be in Boston for much longer.
Yeah, you got a point. You're right. So did you want to talk about any type of prediction, or do you want to transition to my homeboy?
From rags to riches.
For real.
It's like from rags to riches for me, everybody on the block, and everybody outside the block. From rags to riches. Yeah, let's talk about my homie himself.
Depending on what state you're from, your state, not just a block. If you're from a small state like Vermont, your whole state just got a boost. I mean, he's not from Vermont, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah. Bro, it's like there's enough things that you can do with that money to realize, like, dang, I realize like I have too much money now. So like I would love to have a problem like that. It's like, man, my bank account got too many zeros. What am I supposed to do with all this?
Like, prime example, I saw people saying that his girlfriend is gonna be a little like crude to hear to the ear, but a lot of people are saying, oh, his girlfriend's gonna poke holes in all the condoms now, and you try to trap them, you get pregnant. But it's like, as crazy as that sounds, he has the money, yeah, but they also been dating since high school. So I don't know what that dynamic is, but there has to be a reason why you don't have a kid right now automatically, and why you guys aren't married. So I'm not gonna dig into their personal life because that's not my problem. We're just here to deliver the news, the sports news anyway. But this man,
the epitome of Kanye West song. She a gold digger, man. Ain't no prenup in her future.
For people who might have been under a rock and might just be listening to our podcast as their only source of sports news or whatever, Patrick Mahomes had 2 years left in his contract. So when you have years left in your contract, you can get a contract extension, but you can't get a whole new contract. I mean, you can't really get a whole new contract because your contract was never over, but you're still guaranteed whatever money was guaranteed to you in that contract, barring you don't get injured.
Mm-hmm. This is a big issue. I remember this was a big issue with Dak Prescott's rookie contract. I believe it was the first and second year that he took him to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then after that, that's when they started thinking, like, why don't y'all re-sign him? You know, do this, and that. And now here we are now. But this ain't about Dak Prescott and his money. This is about my homeboy and his money.
Exactly. So
how much is he getting again?
The 2 years left where he's supposed to get $27 million in the last 2 years. Then he signs a 10-year contract extension. Sources came from Adam Schefter. So now everybody's just kind of sitting on Twitter, just waiting. Or people's watching their TV, just waiting for more reports. And he's like, I don't know how much money he's supposed to be getting yet, but because he tweeted this afterwards. He's like, I don't know how much money he's supposed to be getting, but it's supposed to be somewhere where it's like a large lump sum, and he might get a percentage off the salary cap. That sounded absolutely crazy. Imagine, I know we didn't get a percentage off the salary cap. That's not what happened. He got something better. But imagine getting a percentage of the salary cap every year. That's a lot of money depending on how good you are and how much you can bring in. Like, prime example, if you're Ken Griffey Jr. from 94 to 97, or 94 to 98, and you get a percentage of the salary cap, you're getting a lot of money. Like, his jerseys was up. He won MVP, finished fourth in MVP in the MVP race 3 times out of those years.
All the All-Star games he went to, you know, like, all the even the commercials. The commercials probably don't play a part unless it's like for the actual team and stuff. But
the commercials, he was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, he was the golden child for baseball for those years. Granted, we were babies, but he was the golden child of baseball. So I'm just saying, but like,
there's your example.
So it's the 10-year contract, the 10-year contract extension. So now he has 12 years total to be a Kansas City Chief, and he's 24 years old. You add 12 years to that, he's retiring a Chief. Like, after this contract is over, you can retire because within these next 12 years, you're probably going to be or do the best that you possibly can do, unless you're Tom Brady and you just so happen to sign with another team.
And it's all good.
And you're like 38 years old.
Don't add Tom Brady to scramble. It ain't going to end well.
I mean, you're going to be 36 by the time this contract is over with. But anyway.
But like during that whole time though, like if the Kansas City Chiefs does make it to the playoffs, that's just only increase the amount of the. Oh, he said he didn't get the salary piece of the salary cap. Did you?
He didn't get a piece of the salary cap, but he got incentives. I'm gonna get to that. So what the original 10-year, if you want me to break it down to you, what the original 10-year contract is, 10 years, $450 million. $450 million. Now you add those other 2 years on from his rookie contract. That's 27 million. So the total of the 12-year contract is $477 million guaranteed, barring and granted, not really granted, but like just in case he doesn't get injured, doesn't get not really fatally, but doesn't get career-ending, fatally to his career-ending injury, then I'm going to get to that in a second. So $477 million makes him the highest paid athlete ever. Any sport, don't matter. Highest paid athlete ever. The second highest paid athlete to come close to that is Mike Trout for the Angels, who got $427 million. $427.5 million in his contract.
All I can think of now is that the meme with the sister waving the money in their hair, say, "How's your money, y'all?
How's your money, y'all? And 4 people around."
That's all I can think of right now.
Mr. Broke ass.
Like the fact that you said that to Mike Trout, that would just be a comedy there on its own.
That anybody wanting to know, that's from the Chappelle Show when they did the whole sketch about black people getting reparations. But anyway, yes, I remember it to the T. I remember that whole episode. But so that makes him the highest paid player, and his incentives are he gets $1 million if he does either one of these things. If he wins NFL MVP throughout any of these next 12 years, it's an extra $1 million guaranteed. If he makes it to the AFC Championship, it's an extra $1 million. If he wins the AFC Championship, it's an extra $1 million. If he wins the AFC Championship MVP, that's an extra $1 million. And then if he makes the Super Bowl, of course, he gets an extra $1 million, and then another one for Super Bowl MVP. So you add all that money up, you add it all up, it's about 6 incentives, if I remember correctly off the top of my head.
Right.
You add all that money up, it goes from 477 to 503. So he has a chance.
All within those 12 years.
Granted, if he does it all those 12 years, doubt it, but he has the potential to make $503 million off his football contract alone. That's not including endorsement deals. That's not including commercials. That's not including anything else. Just those. Which is funny because they set the bar really high for his incentives, because it's like when you're that good of a quarterback and you're that young and you're such a transcendent quarterback, it's like what else incentives can we do? Because we can't do Pro Bowl, because if we do Pro Bowl, we're throwing money at him. He's going to make the Pro Bowl almost every year, except for like probably the latter half of those 12 years. Right. He might make the Pro Bowl for the next 8 seasons. And only 4 seasons he doesn't make the Pro Bowl. So they have to put it up pretty high.
In those 4 seasons that he do make it, that's the team going to essentially the Super Bowl. So I'd rather give you more money to make and have like a good effort to make the Super Bowl rather than give you more money to make the Pro Bowl. I don't give a damn. If I'm one of the owners, I don't give a damn about the Pro Bowl. Like that's for the players to have fun. You know, the owners rather have the rings and stuff. They rather have the rings, the Super Bowl rings to match.
Exactly. And okay. So here's I was about to go off on another tangent, but let me just, before I give you a topic that we can debate about, let me give you this. If he gets injured throughout any of this 12-year stint, he will only get a guaranteed $140 million. Is that lowballing him? 477, 140?
Just so we clear, he's still making millions, 140 million. Please tell me, what the hell can you do with 140 million? I ain't saying
highest paid quarterback off the injury alone.
bro, just think about that. 140 million. Like it's like you know how we was talking about generational wealth. Even with just even with the 140 million. You know, I hope he does get hurt, because I would definitely love to see the Chiefs versus the Ravens matchup. I would love to see that almost, I want to say every other year, because I do want the Colts to make it one time, maybe twice. I'm just being fair. But point of the matter is, I would love to see that duel. You know, like, and if he gets hurt, it would hurt me as a fan. But I'm not letting that go. highest paid on the injury reserve on the injury list. Man.
I want him to be as healthy as he possibly can be for these next 12 years. Granted, that's really hard to do when you're playing football.
As Brett Favre.
The reason why I really want him to be as healthy as he possibly can is because I don't know how, from just my personal knowledge, so don't kill me for it, but from my personal knowledge, there has been 3 golden childs of the NFL, like since I'm gonna just go off the 90s. 3 golden childs.
Okay.
Joe Montana,
Vic.
Tom Brady. No, because Vic had the dog scandal, and a lot of white people specifically hated Michael Vick, and they still hate Michael Vick. There's a lot of people who still hate Michael Vick. So let me get my point off, because you sit over there with that one.
Yeah.
Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Who's been more embraced in the NFL than those 3 quarterbacks? From coming into the league, developing, being young stars, and then taking the reins and being the premier star. Who else has been propelled and been on that pedestal of like glory to the NFL or to the analysts covering the NFL?
You said it best, the analysts, because every time I watch the Chiefs play, I've never heard I want to say reporters, analysts, and the people who give the stats. I have never heard them say another player's name, the QB name, so much as they've done with Patrick Mahomes. With Tom Brady, he kind of had to work. I say he had to work a little bit harder than Joe Montana and Patrick Mahomes, because he came into the draft fast late. I believe draft 6th round. Mm-hmm. Mahomes was what, first, second, or third?
I think he was 2nd or 3rd round.
Right. And Montana, I can't even think off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhat similar to Patrick Mahomes. They had the talent, yes. They had the ability, sure. They was far better than those that came, in their draft class. I still believe my son phrases. I still believe that Mahomes is the golden child, but I don't even want to call him a golden child. I might as well just call him the Cinderella of this whole shit. Solely because no one has been more loved than he has.
See what I mean?
No one has been more loved. Not even. I want to say close to a point. Like when he got not when he got hurt. When he first got started, nobody knew he was gonna blow up. Let's be honest. Nobody knew this was gonna happen.
You talking about Alex Smith?
If you did, I'm calling you a liar now. You probably one of his burner accounts if you're telling me this on Twitter.
Are you talking about Alex Smith? When Alex Smith got hurt, nobody knew Mahomes was going to be this person?
Nobody knew that. Nobody knew Mahomes was going to be like this. And if he did, he wouldn't happen so quick. Not still in your rookie contract.
No, nobody really. Oh, well, the reason why I say that is because the reason why I call those 3 the golden child is because once they got to the highest point, which is the Super Bowl, and they won their Super Bowl, they were then the standard. Everybody was compared to Montana, especially in his prime. Everybody is compared to Brady. I mean, people are still being compared to Brady. It's like, but can you be Brady? Can you
win?
That elite quarterback. And then, of course, QBR wasn't really like a big thing back in those days. It is just a newer thing. But still, it's just like it's Brady, and then it's you rank the rest of the quarterbacks, or you judge the rest of the quarterbacks off of Brady's success, off of Montana's success, because they're still neck and neck of who's the best quarterback of all time. People still argue it, still debate it. And then it's Patrick Mahomes, not off of what he's done already, but it's off of his potential.
Right.
Because I look at the way that people talk about Mahomes and his potential, I view it almost on the same parallel as like LeBron when he entered the league. Because once Mahomes became the starter, and once we started watching all this crazy stuff he was doing, it was like, whoa, we've never seen anybody do that. Which is, granted, it's true. I've never seen people throw the ball the way that Mahomes threw the ball.
Like throwing on a run, throwing a 50-yard bomb on the run. I'll give anybody props about that. Now, If it was inaccurate, that's another thing. But it's not. That's the thing.
I also have to give a lot of credit to Andy Reid for putting together arguably probably one of the best, if we're including Travis Kelce in this, probably arguably one of the best receiving cores ever. I mean, look at this receiving core. You got Travis Kelce, Mikael Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill. That's just the four. Right. That's four right there. 3 receivers, a tight end. And then didn't they get rid of another receiver this offseason?
I was thinking of the draft this year. I can't remember if they picked up a receiver or not, but I can't remember.
I can't remember it either, but I'm just saying, like, they gave him a lot of weapons. They gave him a lot of tools, and he won. And this is, honestly, this Super Bowl was probably one of the first Super Bowls I've ever seen where it wasn't about defense wins championships. It was about offense winning championships because you just couldn't stop.
It was too high-powered offense.
Like, there's no way you should be down 24 points in the playoffs. No, you should be down 21 points in the playoffs. My bad. To the Houston Texans and then score 24 unanswered points before halftime. 24 unanswered. You're down 21-0. If we're playing Madden, you got to give up the sticks. You just lost. And then to come back 24 and to go into halftime 24-21. And it was like every time I would look up, they would score. Be back on my phone, watch the game a little bit, back on my phone, watch the Twitter feed of the game, just trying to be engaged or whatever. Look up, score. Look up, touchdown. It was just like, it's ridiculous. But I got to give it to him. He deserves all this money.
I remember in the comments, on Twitter, I saw somebody say like how he shouldn't have took the contract. Let me ask you this: if that type of contract was presented to you, if 500 quote unquote, this is basically what it is, 500 million potentially to make, you mean to tell me you wouldn't take that? Now, if we're talking about you got to go do some crazy stuff like you got to go bungee jump off of the Empire State Building. Meanwhile, trying to assassinate somebody, then I would think about it and say maybe this ain't the job for me. but if you've been balling, let's just be real. If you've been balling at an MVP level as under your rookie contract, I'd say this is probably the best idea. His is probably the best idea he's ever thought of. His agent is probably going to be well renowned for making this shit happen.
This is my last segment off of Patrick Mahomes, and probably don't want to talk about him until the NFL season returns because I'm not even a Chiefs fan or a Mahomes fan. Well, I do like Mahomes.
That's my homeboy. Quit playing.
No. I don't call him a homeboy like that. I just said that because Shannon Sharp calls him a homeboy. But anyway, so he was on LeBron James' show, The Shop, on HBO. And apparently he said, and he's talking about in 2018, he said, I didn't understand how to read defenses until halfway through the season. I was just playing. You mean to tell me you made it through high school and college at Texas Tech just throwing the ball to people who you thought was open? Or until they got open, you threw the ball? Like you didn't know how to really read. I mean, I don't believe that 100% entirely. You know how to read a defense basic. You know how to read a basic defense. You have a single high safety. That means the other safety's in the box, which means somebody's blitzing and you're in cover 3 or cover 1. Right. I mean, that's basic football knowledge if you played football.
Right, but let me ask you this now. But does it matter if you can legit outrun everybody, all the blitzers, and still get a first down without being touched?
I guess it doesn't. I mean,
you know, backyard. It's like Mahomes was in my head. It sounded like he was legit doing backyard bullshit just to get a first down and win the games.
I mean, it got him to the league, so who knows? I guess
got him to being the highest paid athlete ever.
I don't know.
Oh shit, man, that's still insane. Man, generational wealth right there. Generational wealth,
for sure.
I don't think you can't. That's why it's It's like a continuity issue. They want to make sure they know what they're talking about.
What the? That looks stupid. Anyway,
they fans look stupid every year.
They are stupid. Look at this.
Don't bullshit. They got nice ass colors.
Ugh, I've never liked their colors. Or they're like off. What is the color of their pants? It's like a off bluish, greenish looking. I could never tell what the color of their pants were. And why do they wear white at home and like a blue at like I never understood that. Why are they the NBA of the NFL? Never noticed that.
America's team. That's why.
I don't even know. I really want to know who started calling them America's team, and I want to smack the shit out of them.
I think the person that was saying that they was playing with their nose the whole time. That's why.
By the way, I'm leaving all of this in on the podcast. I'm leaving all of this in.
This is stopping me. All right, tell me. Answer me this one question, but then after that, I'll let it go. I'll go back talking shit about the team again like normal. If the Cowboys would have won the championship, won the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be nice. The last time they made it past the second round, or they actually made it to the second round. It's been a while since they made it outside the wild card. The last time they made it to the second round.
Divisional round?
Yep.
Or to well, no, because
years that
in 2013. In 2016, it was when they were 13-3. They were in the divisional round and they lost. So the second round for them would have been NFC Championship. But anyway, last time they made it past wherever they started in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Continue.
So if they would have made the championship, if Dak Prescott would have won the Super Bowl, do you think he would have had? Do you think he would have been on the same projection as Mahomes, or do you think that this is exactly where Prescott belongs?
No, he wouldn't have got as big a contract as Mahomes, but he would have been in the high ones, maybe low 200.
That's crazy.
He would have won. Like, say if they that year, that his rookie year, and him and Zeke's rookie year when they made the playoffs and they were 13-3, or 14-2. I think they're 13-3. I don't think that they were 14-2. But anyway, if they would have won the Super Bowl that year, and they would have made the playoffs the next year like they did, but get bounced like they did. But everybody's expecting that because it's hard to repeat a Super Bowl championship after coming off a Super Bowl, especially when you're a rookie. So nobody's holding that against you. And if they would have made the playoffs again another year, just made the playoffs, or at least made the playoffs and won a game in the playoffs,
right?
In this rookie contract, he would get a lot of money. But because he seems to be Tony Romo 2.0, as in like he's a better quarterback than Tony Romo, he can get you to the playoffs, but he can't win. He's stuck in this position. He's stuck in this predicament.
Okay, so that's why they got. I can't think of the quarterback name for the bank. Oh, Andy Dalton. That's why they got Andy Dalton to turn that coal into diamond.
No, I think they got Andy Dalton because I think they was tired of trying to offer him what he's worth and him thinking that he's worth more than what he is. And I blame that 100% on the fan base. Because you have the diehard fans. Well, they're all diehard fans. You can't be a Cowboys and not be a diehard fan.
They're gonna die hard.
It's the fans that say that he's the best quarterback or he's top 3 quarterback in the league that pumped up his head and pumped up everybody else's head, such as AKA Skip Bayless, who believes that he deserves some astronomical contract and look at his QBR and blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, he still had a fairly decent QBR against the Jets, and they still lost at home.
The Jets. You were comparing your team to the Jets. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I know.
I'm just saying, like, when they lost to the Jets, Skip was still talking about how great of a QBR he had, and it's like, it doesn't matter. You lost to Sam Darnold. You lost.
It's not no pleasing the fans. It's more or less just like there's no help. There's no saving the fans. There's no saving them.
I don't know.
At the end of the day, they're still going to say what they want. They're still going to unholy, unrespectively in my eyes, say that this is their year. So
Cowboys fans are kind of like Knicks fans. But anyway, let's get into this season.
You know a Knicks fan? I thought they all died out.
No.
Oh man.
Browns, Giants, Cardinals. They actually have a really easy schedule except for their first 3 games. Oh wait, no, it gets worse. Oh wait, these 3 games right here are kind of hard.
You got a bye week in the middle of that. You should be fine. They'll be fine. They'll
really still 3 playoff teams, and they struggle playing against us. They can never sweep us, no matter how good. Even that year, like I was referring to, one of those losses was to the Eagles. So you still have a hard time. Like you can still not sweep us. I think the last time they swept the Eagles was either early 2000s or in the 90s.
I was about to say so with Asamoah. Hell no.
Asamoah was tragic. That whole team was tragic. I blame all that on Chip Kelly. Yeah. Oh, they do play Baltimore at Baltimore. That's a definite loss. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? They have all of their hard games, like with an easy game in between. They don't really have 3 tough games, like win, loss, win. You know what I'm saying? Or loss, win, loss, win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's not going to be
losses and then bye.
There's not going to be no 3 back-to-back games where they for sure are going to lose, which would be crazy if they lose those first 3 games. I don't see that happening though.
Nah, I see them winning week 1 in LA.
Yeah, but they're not about to go 0-3. That's what I'm saying. They're not about to go 0-3, and then they're for sure not going 3-0. Because you playing against the 12th man. That ain't an easy win.
I say their hardest games are Seattle in Seattle, only because they're playing at the 12th man, and I don't care what NFL team you are. You play Seattle in Seattle, it's a hard game, especially if it's a night game. Is this a night game? No, it's not a night game.
No.
But you play them in the 12th man at nighttime in a primetime stage, good luck. Have fun with that one. Yeah. So I say Seattle.
Divisional games right here.
Us at our house.
In Philly.
And then Baltimore. In Baltimore.
Wait, when they was playing go back up. When they was playing the Steelers, that's a home game?
Yeah, it's a home game.
That's going to be a little hard to call this one. It's going to be a little hard. I can't think of usually I think of a team like how they match up, stylistically, if their offense is somewhat similar, around the same, how I project their team to finish. Like if they're going to be like number 5 offense, I usually try to compare another team that's like 6 or 7 around that same power. But it's like I'm finally stumped. I can't really gauge them right now.
Honestly, I got them going 10-6. I got 6 guaranteed losses, and one of those losses, I see us and them splitting the season, not because I want to split the season series with the Cowboys. It's just tradition to split the season series with the Cowboys. Either we win at our home, they win at their home, or we win at their home and they win at our home. We always split the season series. But as of right now, if the 49ers don't drop off, which I don't think that they will, I see 6 guaranteed losses.
And here's another thing I don't like about the Cowboys. They're that team that does fall susceptible to not, I don't want to call them trap games, but they do lose the team not supposed to lose to. Now, is that going to happen on week 14? Probably not.
No, I see that happening potentially
week 7. I see week 7 or week 6. They're supposed to beat those 2 teams, and yet they still going to lose.
Week 7, week 6, or week 4?
So the Browns on the come up. Hey, respect.
I'm not saying the Browns on the come up. I'm just saying they lose to teams that they're not supposed to lose to. You're not supposed to lose to the Browns. Right. You're not supposed to lose to the Redskins or whatever they're going to change their name to, because they're changing their name.
But I just hope it's not insensitive. That if you're gonna change your name from Redskins to the Indians, I'm gonna look at you weird.
I think that the Cleveland Indians should change their name as well. That's just my personal opinion. I
Totally.
feel like if people have been calling for this name change and they find it offensive,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a slap in the face if you don't
do
change your name.
Right.
And you had to wait for the Redskins anyway. You had to wait until FedEx said, "Hey, we're gonna pull our name off of your stadium," for you to be like, "Okay. Now we'll change the name. Now we'll think about it." But it's because like his whole thing, Snyder, who was the owner, Snyder's whole thing was, I don't want to change the name because it's history and we have to buy back all that old gear or whatever. Oh, and not only FedEx, quick side note, Nike pulled all of the Redskins stuff off their website. So it's FedEx and Nike that really forced their hand. But it's like, if you change the name to something cool, you change the logo, guess what the fans are going to do? You have diehard fans regardless. The stadium, FedEx Stadium, is always packed with fans. They're going to go out. They're going to buy the new gear, especially if you keep the same color scheme. Keep the same color scheme. Just change the name and change the logo. They're going to go out and buy all new gear.
Exactly. I'll be that first one to buy it. If they can make a classic one, I'll be the first one to buy that Sean Taylor jersey. Shit, just for the aesthetics.
I'll buy a Sean Taylor jersey. People are gonna buy even if people do have a Chase Young jersey, they're gonna go out and buy a different Chase Young jersey because you've changed the name and logo. Stupid.
Exactly. Don't do nothing. Just don't do nothing. Don't fuck up the game and like have your fans really hate you, and so they can just burn it as soon as they buy it. That's on them. That will be all on them.
Okay. Anyway.
Hey, right now it's preseason, and you're gonna mess it up again.
No, it's regular season. I got it this time. Ha ha. Yeah.
All right. Let's get down to business.
Ooh.
All right, but look though. Are we getting 2018 Bears or are we getting 2019 Bears? Then I'll see where you're coming at.
If Nick Foles starts week 2, it doesn't matter.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Khalil Mack know how to shut a whole side. If you're gonna run the ball, Khalil Mack know how to shut one side of the defense off. So
that Khalil Mack probably should have won MVP one of these years instead of it being Aaron Donald both years.
So are we talking about NFL MVP or are we talking about defensive MVP?
Defensive MVP.
Yeah, he's gonna win one. I promise you this.
He should have won at least one. Like the year that they win the Super Bowl, okay, whatever.
By all means, but
I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, but we can continue.
I just can't wait to find like a dominant, like a truly like Deion Sanders like dominant DB. When that happens, then I feel like that's gonna make NFL great again. We're gonna have somebody you bring some more showtime to the game. That's gonna be nice. But I feel like that's like wishful thinking.
Okay.
I'm going off topic, but I couldn't help it. That's the first thing clicked in my head.
Whoa. Can we talk about these last 3 games? Whoa.
I mean, at least you home for the Browns and the Cowboys. I'm kind of that 16 is automatic loss. That's automatic.
Week 16 automatic loss.
I'm calling it now.
13. We don't have to get into this. We're gonna lose twice to us. Week 8.
Are you sure? Twice?
Yeah, that's terrible.
You see, it's more or less like. Do you still think that was a good choice taking Jones too, instead of Haskins?
Yes, because Haskins wasn't ready, and he proved it last season. He wasn't ready. He was the typical. Haskins is what I think Joe Burrow can be. You had a really good year, but granted, Joe Burrow won the Heisman and won a national championship, but you only really had 1 year. You had one really, really breakout season, and that was it. You the starter. You weren't the starter until that one breakout season, and you just so happened to be really good that one breakout season. Only difference is Haskins could have went back to college. It was make or break for Burrow. It was a senior year.
Okay, but, you got me there. Okay, I was thinking more or less like Haskins was the idea of the fact that you need the Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre scenario. He needs to sit out, not necessarily as long as Rodgers did, but he needs to wait his turn, type thing.
But I feel that way about a lot of quarterbacks. I feel like most NFL quarterbacks shouldn't come in and start their rookie season or start immediately.
I thought I was okay with that with Luck. When Luck did that, I was.
There's a few of them. Luck, Wentz, Wilson.
Well, Wilson, I didn't think Wilson was going to be this good. I still think that. I give him all the credit in the world. I did not think he was going to be this good. I did not think he was going to be this good this quick.
I don't know. We're getting off topic. What do you think their record is going to be?
Giants?
Yeah.
They're not going to be the first team out. They're going to be the second, third team out. So they're going to finish like, what do you call that? Like two games outside the playoffs. So I'm going to call it 6-10. 6-10, 7-9.
Really?
7-9 is going to come out of one of those divisional games if they get lucky or not.
5-11 at best.
At best.
They got a lot of kinks they got to work out. Granted, they got a lot of linemen.
Yeah, that's fine. But I feel like it's like now they're not, the Giants aren't what they used to be. The Giants are they're more offensive powered than defensive powered.
I really like him, by the way.
Just think that's not gonna be there no more. You better enjoy it while you can, man.
I'm talking about I can't think of his name though.
I thought of Santana Holmes for no reason.
This is the rookie last season.
The receiver?
He was a really good rookie receiver. Oh my gosh. How come I'm drawing a blank all day today?
Because you don't feel like going to the team and looking at their roster?
What happened?
You don't feel like looking up their roster right now? Oh shit! Better break the computer. Press position. Ah shit! Too late.
Well, can you talk while I'm searching?
No, because that's not my job to.
Well, you gotta entertain the people.
The people are entertained. The people are very entertained watching.
There you go.
No,
Terry McLaurin. There you go.
All right.
Terry McLaurin. Wow. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, boy.
Anyway. Okay. So on to Washington. I see 3 loss, 4, 5. Ooh.
6, 7, 8.
Good Lord. Yeah, they probably have the hardest stretch right before the playoffs.
It was at that point they realized if they're not ready at week 13, then they're really screwed. If they don't have everything worked out by week 13, that's it. On to the next year.
I know we don't really cuss a whole lot on this show.
You are a liar. We curse all the time. We are sailors in this mug.
It was at this moment. He fucked up. Bro, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 losses in a row. Woo. Okay, so what are we saying that their schedule is going to be? I mean, it don't really matter. They got 6 hard. We don't have to go to which 3 are the hardest. Screw all that. I got them going 4.
Oh, 4.
Nah, not 4. Because I think they're going to be better than the Giants. Okay, I'll go 6-10.
I don't think they're gonna be better than the Giants. I still think they're gonna be the 4th team in this division. You know, I'm saying like 5-11. 5-11.
You said 6-10 for the Giants.
Ooh,
1 game. Whoop-de-doo.
Watching that 1 game matters too. Just so we clear, watching that 1 game matters.
Not if for them trying to make the playoffs.
They ain't making it regardless.
Anyway, you like how it says "Fly Eagles Fly" up there?
I like how it also doesn't have the last time they won a championship either.
You want me to tell you? The whole song?
No.
Ready for it?
I promise you, I'll find a way to lose this right now.
I'm not gonna do it. But I know the whole thing. I think one of the only fan bases, well, not one of the only fan bases, but how many fan bases you know with a fight song?
That's football team?
Yeah, as an NFL football team, it's us. The Steelers got their terrible towels.
Okay, so like they're from memorabilia.
The Saints, who that? And then the Bengals, who they, which I think is stupid because it's a copycat of the Saints.
Right.
You got the Falcons with the Dirty Bird.
Dirty Bird.
That's top 5 I can think of off the top of my head. Anyway, we started off last season like this, except for we didn't play the Rams week 2, but we played
Redskins
in week 1.
You're in Washington, so we're clear.
Lost.
No, I'm Kevin.
You got me off. You got me bent, and you think we losing these 3 games in a row?
Yeah. I may lose one of those. Yeah, definitely gonna lose one of those games from right here. It's more or less like I didn't realize how much of the Eagles, whenever they do play against the Steelers, how much of a good game that is. It's every year. It's a good game.
Good Lord, look at our schedule. Okay,
still better than the Redskins.
We can do these 3 games as well. Actually, but that's the thing. We have a tough schedule, but like we're a really solid team overall. And I'm not trying to toot our own horn. I think that we're a really good team if everybody's healthy. And even if we don't have Deshaun Jackson, we don't have to talk about the whole thing because
we can. This is a sports. This is a podcast predicated around sports. We are going to talk about this.
Okay, was he in the wrong for saying what he was saying? For saying what he said? Yes, he should not have said what he said. I completely agree. Will they release Deshaun Jackson? No. If you kept Riley Cooper and gave Riley Cooper a contract extension after he said the N-word, then I don't think that they're going to get rid of Deshaun Jackson for for attempting to shit on Jewish people.
You know, Jewish people are very good donors. They donate a lot of money to the NFL.
I understand that, but like
wild stuff happens sooner or later about this.
I know people are going to say like, "Oh, cut him, release him from the team." I don't even know if he's going to make the whole season.
He is one of those players that do get hurt.
I don't even know if he's going to play the whole season.
That's his style.
And honestly, with all the pieces, like after going through the day of the draft, I was heated. The day after when we first started the podcast, heated. After going back and watching some of these receivers that we drafted, do I still want would have still liked to have taken Justin Jefferson or traded up to get CeeDee Lamb? Yes, in a heartbeat. But I like the receivers that we got. Do we need Deshaun Jackson now? No. I wish we would have got a taller receiver in the draft, a.k.a. CeeDee Lamb. Well, actually, no, he's not even that tall, actually. He's actually like 6'1". He just plays like a tall receiver.
It's more or less like another thing. I see Deshaun Jackson as a. I feel like he's not the same Deshaun Jackson. We can agree on that. But he still knows tricks of the trade that he could teach the younger players that just got drafted. So in my mind, I do admit they should have got Justin Jefferson because he does relate a lot more to Deshaun Jackson than the receiver they picked up. But he's not going to be. I feel like they're going to use him. They're not going to use him as they used to. They're going to allow him to teach the younger cats coming into the league now, so they can basically produce more Deshaun Jacksons, more short slot receivers that can run almost a 4.20 by the time they turned 28. That's just how I see this happening. So you ready for the cold truth of what's going to happen to the Eagles this year?
I see us going 12-4 because we have some dog fights.
Right, because I'm looking at like 3 of them right now.
We have
Just be glad you got at least some home games in this.
Huh?
Just be glad you got some home games in this because.
Well, no, that's fine. But I'm saying I'm not even counting the Cowboys in this because I know we're gonna split 1-1. So worst case scenario for us, I see us going 11-5. Worst case scenario.
That's the worst. Okay.
Best case scenario, we win all these home games, and if we win all the home games, we potentially go 13-3. Means we lose in San Francisco, we lose in our interstate rival, and then we lose in what's the name?
Week 14.
Either we lose for Green Bay or we lose in Dallas.
That's still 4 losses because you got to play Cowboys one more time. So 12-4.
Okay, so still 12-4. I still see us going 12-4. I still have us being the best team in our division and being one of the top premier teams in all of the conference.
I mean, you make the way how this looking up, y'all may end up having to play against the Cowboys inside the wild card from how this is looking. Boy, that would just soak the fire even more between y'all rivalry. Man.
Well, no, that I could actually, if we have to play the Cowboys in a wild card game, I can go to sleep that game. Because when do the Cowboys show up in the playoffs?
We ain't stopping yet. All right.
That don't worry me. Playing a different team in the wild card, depending on how that team heated up, it would be more worrisome.
You know that's what we talk about.
Like playing Seattle or playing San Francisco in the wild card is more of a scare than playing the Cowboys.
I still don't see how y'all didn't get CD Lamb. I still don't see it. And the fact that y'all didn't get him and he went to your actual team, that's even better.
We allowed him to go to a different team, to go to the Cowboys, and Jerry Jones told CD Lamb, "You're going to wear 88." But we don't talk about the original 88 and how he almost went to jail for 20 years for having cocaine and hookers in his hotel room with his teammate. Yeah, y'all remember that. A lot of people don't remember. Oh, yeah, cocaine. I think weed and a few other things. Michael Irvin was partying up for Dallas. We don't talk about that 88.
We talk. What you mean? I know Michael Irvin. He has a suit on all the time. He be sweating when we get in arguments with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know what you're talking about playing with your nose. You out your mind. I do see in all purposes aside, I do see the Eagles. I do see Eagles getting double-digit wins, 10-6. I don't. Like I said, the Eagles are another one of those teams that get. Now they don't lose the game they're supposed to. They lose because they get their players get hurt. Their key players get hurt, and I'm talking about the Chris Paul version of the NFL. Carson Wentz. He's gonna get hurt, and it's gonna fuck up everything like it always does.
No, I actually don't think he's gonna get hurt this year. If anything, if anybody gets hurt this year, I think it might be a lineman. We have probably one of the best offensive lines when they're all healthy, but they're all older. That's the issue.
They're more susceptible to getting hurt.
Jason Peters is old. Lane Johnson is old. Jason Kelsey is old. Not old in the fact that they're actually old, but from offensive lineman standpoint, they're old. I
think 30
all the time. They're old, but all three of these players are all Pro Bowl players.
Yeah, but they're all over 33.
Yeah, but they're all three of them are Pro Bowl linemen. And I dare somebody to tell me one of those three linemen are not a Pro Bowl lineman.
That's all right, because when the right tackle or left one, I think it's Peters. Yeah, when Peters goes up against Chase Young and he realized he's not as young as he used to be no more. Then I get to reiterate the fact that they are old.
Doesn't Chase Young play on the left side though? Which means he'd be playing against the right tackle, which is Lane Johnson.
So I got it backwards. So Lane Johnson, hope you're ready. Because I'm just saying because it's one
and set. Kick, set, and catch. That's what we're gonna teach you, boy. Kick, set, and catch. We just go catch them.
you go catch and fall down too?
Now, but playing against, I know we've been going off on tangents this whole time, but playing against the Redskins isn't going to be that hard because you just double team him. Who else do they have on the offense on the D line like that?
Jonathan Abraham. I like Jonathan Abraham. Only reason why he don't get talked as much, he doesn't have the stats to back up what he does, and he's short. 6'1". 6'1" DN. Doesn't stand out. Doesn't stand
Oh
out.
yeah, you're right. But since I started this off, are you gonna close us out?
Oh yeah, best believe. I wish I had a mic. That'd be perfect. All right, and that's gonna do it, everybody. Thank you for paying attention to Sage.
Why do you have Sage?
I got demons that just left this house. Shout out to my niece and nephew, Landon and London. Still love y'all. They got demons that just left this house, man. I gotta burn it just to make sure. Keep the demons away. Now, like I was saying, thank you for all the viewers who listen to Two Brothers Podcast. My name is Vincent Lovett. This was the owner of Carson Wentz burner account, Malik Patterson. Oh, you like this one? All right, bet. I'll keep it going there. Now, like always, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And if you got anything else you want to say,
no, I'm good. Except for you got Sage.
If I'm burning this mess right now, keep playing with me. I told you, keep these demons away.
We'll catch you guys next time, and we'll actually be wrapping up this whole segment, and we'll be finishing off on the AFC East.
That should be horrible, but that's besides the point. Later.